Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. We are in A Day at a Time, the reflection for August 10th. We've been our own worst enemies most of our lives, and we've often injured ourselves seriously as a result of a justified resentment over a slight wrong. Doubtless, there were many causes for resentment in the world, most of them providing justification. But we can never begin to settle all the world's grievances or even arrange things so as to please everybody. If we've been treated unjustly by others or simply by life itself, we can avoid compounding the difficulty by completely forgiving the persons involved and abandoning the destructive habit of reviewing our hurts and humiliations. Can I believe that yesterday's hurt is today's understanding rewoven into tomorrow's love? Today I pray, whether I am unjustly treated or just think I am, may I try not to be a resentful person stewing over past injuries. Once I have identified the root emotion behind my resentment, may I be big enough to forgive the person involved and wise enough to forget the whole thing. Today I will remember, not all injustice can be fixed. What do you think about that? Not all injustice can be fixed. That is something that I resent. I don't like that. I think everything should be figured out. I think everything should be able to be solved. I want things to be neat and tidy, and I want everyone to be happy or at least pacified, and I want to not be uncomfortable, and injustice is uncomfortable. And there are certain injustices in the bigger, political sphere and civil rights where those injustices are things to be fought against and rectified, but there are slights against me, and I like that. It could be a perceived slight or a real slight. Both feel just as real, but that I can choose I can work through that emotion of resentment and decide to forgive them. I can forgive myself for feeling resentful. I can forgive myself for choosing to see this person in a light where perhaps my perception is that they're hurting me, even though they may not be or not intending to be. And then I can forgive them. So a very wise person once told me that unforgiveness is the greatest block to the spiritual life. And AA is a spiritual program, right? We are told that in the big book. And so unforgiveness, I would argue, is the greatest block to progression in the steps. And it can be forgiveness to ourselves, to other people. It's probably both. And the hardest thing is when you're totally justified in actually being pissed off at someone and indignant and being able to say, I'm right. Because I feel like for me, a lot of the time, I feel like I'm actually wrong most of the time. And so when something happens where I'm actually like, aha, see, what you did was wrong and I'm right and you need to say you're sorry. It's like, oh, what kind of person am I turning into when I hold on to that? And that's That's the only thing I have control over, right? As gnarly as that is, even if someone does something wrong, if I hold on to that as a reason to be bitter and resentful, that is making me a bitter and resentful person. I'm becoming poisoned by that. And when I become poisoned by that, I become weaker. And when I become weaker, I'm more likely to relapse. And I don't want to relapse. So now I have to look at this. I have to look at it head on, and I have to say, I need to learn how to forgive this situation. I want to learn how to see this hurt as something that is bringing me closer into program and closer to my higher power. And so it's not, again, you'll hear this a lot. It's not that you're saying whatever happened is okay, but you're learning to forgive, or at least pray for the willingness to want to forgive. And I think that's where I am with like some of the hardest perceptions, hardest injustices that I face in life. It's like, okay, Lord, can you at least give me a heart that wants to forgive? Because right now I do not want to forgive him. Right now, I just feel hurt, and I feel very justified in this hurt. But can you start to kindle in me a fire of desire for wanting to forgive someone who has truly wronged me? Because I'm sick and tired of carrying around this weight of unforgiveness. And I'm sick of making myself sick with this spiritual poison of resentment. And sometimes that's the best we can do. And I really feel like that's the best I can do today for right now. But I want to be there. I want to be in that place where I can look at someone with a heart full of love, because either it's easy to love them, or because they're hurting me, I get to experience real love in forgiving the unforgivable. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.